the DJ to the mixer, from my fingers to the fader. Raise your hands up to the speakers. You are here to entertain us. From the DJ to the mixer, from my fingers to the fader. Raise your hands up to the speakers, because this is for the ragers. From the DJ to the mixer, from my fingers to the fader. Raise your hands up to the speakers. You are here to entertain us.
That gets you ready. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Jennifer Zunko. I'm the Executive Director of TCNewTech, and we welcome you to our October 2021 pitch event. Our mission at TCNewTech is to build a culture of innovation, economic growth, and opportunity here in the Grand Traverse region. And you're helping to make that happen just by showing up tonight. So we're really glad you're here. It's your memberships and the generosity of our sponsors that makes all this possible. Now I'm going to introduce you to our MC for tonight's program. Sarah Hunt. She's an account executive with Michigan Broadband. She's a longtime TCNewTech member. She's been on the board. She does all kinds of help. She does our social media. She works with our sponsors. So if anybody here is interested in learning about sponsorship, she's a good one to talk to. And also, she works as an account executive for Michigan Broadband, and they have been our main sponsor for the last couple of years. So we appreciate that. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Sarah.
Thank you, guys. It's nice to see most of these seats filled over the course of the last year. We've been missing that. Today, we're going to bring you 3 startups pitching. They're emerging businesses with new ideas. We're going to give them 5 minutes to pitch to you and then 5 minutes Q&A. Following that presentation, we're going to have the ability for you to cast your vote. So we love to have your interaction and vote for your best and favorite pitch of the night. During our voting, we're going to have a few minutes for open mic, where we're going to allow community, public service announcements, and job openings. You can basically make your way to this microphone here or this microphone on my left and line up and cast your little pitch. Coming into our speaker lineup, we also have quick tips on using finders for finding capital. An update from Michigan Tech University, which you've probably seen in the news, but hear from them in person. 20 Fathoms will be joining us, and also Michigan's Creative Coast. And like Jen said, you can reach out to me with sponsorships. Also, what helps drive our organization is the memberships. So we would love for you guys to scan that QR code, join us, help us, get involved with our volunteer positions we have just to do further outreach. So TCNewTech is a nonprofit. We're powered by the generous support of our sponsors, but our members as well. Our mission is to create a community that can pool its skills and resources and make a difference in our region. You can get involved by becoming a member, participate in our events, support our local startups that will be pitching. Every act of generosity counts, and everyone has something to give. So before we start our pitches, we have a quick tip from Matt Bauer of Varnum Law. Sorry, Matt, no music. Oh, there we go.
All right, hello TC. My name is Matt Bauer. I'm an attorney with the Varnum Law Firm. I represent startup and early stage technology companies, and occasionally I also represent the investors who love them. So raising capital can be hard, and clients who have gone out to try to raise capital, occasionally someone will come up to them, usually in a smoky bar, and say, well, I'm not going to invest in your company, but I know investors and I can help raise capital for you. And here's the best part. If I raise the capital, you can pay me for raising this capital for you. If I don't raise any capital for you, don't worry about it. So this sounds very good, right? Problem with this is that these people are engaging in activity that is heavily regulated by the SEC. So normally this kind of activity of raising capital and receiving compensation for it is only done by a group of people known as broker dealers, right? They're heavily regulated, accredited. They go through lots of training. They take lots of tests, and they are supervised by organizations. The finders who go out there and engage in this kind of activity can do it, but it has to be very limited. So if they're not broker dealers and not regulated, they can engage in this kind of activity, but it has to be introductions only. So no negotiating, no salesman type activities. And their compensation has to be either fixed or a flat fee basis. It cannot be success-based compensation. This is a problem for finders and for companies because the company doesn't want to pay the finder unless the finder actually is able to find the money. And the finder doesn't really like the flat fee that the startup company can pay because it's not quite the same compensation that they could receive for success-based compensation. So they always come to me and they say to me, but what if we do this? And what if we do that? The SEC has two rules. One, follow the rules. Two, do not come up with a scheme to get around the rules. So they never like this advice, but eventually we come to an understanding, because the problem is if you do use this finder, because the other thing they always say is everyone's doing it. What did your parents say to you when you said to them, everyone's doing it? The problem is, yes, you can engage in this activity, and if you don't get caught, there's not a problem. But if you always engage in unlawful activity and never get caught, you don't need me. But if you do get caught, here's the problem. One, it could be bad for the finder, so they can get into big trouble with regulators. Two, it could be bad for the company because the company will have to disclose to both to the investors and to the SEC when they raise capital that they gave money to a finder, if they're doing it right. But of course, if you're breaking the rules, why not break all the rules? Number three is that for the investor, they have entered into an illegal contract, right? So that means that they get to breach that contract if they want to without any penalty. They can terminate it and say, you know what, you engaged a broker you weren't supposed to. I kind of don't like this investment anymore, so I'll take my money back. So having said all that, the SEC is now proposing some rules that might allow finders to operate under some lighter regulations, not quite applicable to broker dealers. But those regulations have not passed yet. So in the meantime, if you are raising capital, if you're advising a company that's raising capital, if you're investing in a company that's raising capital, make sure they are not using finders. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. To hear more from Matt, he'll be speaking tomorrow on the early stages of financing at 20 Fathoms. As we have up here, our pitch prize sponsor is Forefront. We are really thankful they stepped up to the plate this year and was a year-long sponsor along with RJG and DGN Advisors. So next up, we're going to invite Gordon as our first pitch presenter. So I'm going to do a little introduction. So just to give you guys an introduction to Gordon, it takes a lot of courage for an entrepreneur to share their ideas on our stage. Although Gordon is an experienced inventor, which I've seen some of his stuff shared, this is his first time pitching to an audience. As you can imagine, it's a little nerve-wracking. So late on Friday, one of our scheduled presenters actually canceled. The board president reached out to Gordon and convinced him to fill the spot. So tonight, we'd like you guys to give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. You give the nervous guy short notice. Good.
Advance.
Nope.
Nope, that's not you. Okay.
It is me,
Okay.
but it's not the start.
Okay. This is all I
Hey,
have first.
Me. Hi there. My name is Gordon Briley, and it's an honor to be here. Here's a little bit about myself. I'm the founder of Briley Fitness, which is a local home gym fitness equipment manufacturing business. I currently hold 2 provisional patents and a full utility patent for a piece of fitness equipment that is being manufactured and sold by 2 of the largest fitness companies in the world. I've had a healthy passion for inventing since I was a young boy growing up on a farm. But my true love, or the true love I have, is bringing my ideas to life. Okay. The problem. Here's the problem I intend to solve. If you've ever been targeted, you probably already know that with present day weaponry, it's just too damn easy. Amazing scopes, extremely accurate rifles, and vastly improved ammo has left us all wanting more. Well, I intend to shift the paradigm. Instead of continuing to make small gains on weapons and accessories, let's improve the overall experience. Moving targets. Currently, the only available moving targets are still stationary, but utilize moving extremities. The other option is a wheeled moving target here, but these are $20,000 and mostly used by the military. The days of boring target shooting are numbered. We're going to aim high and propel target shooting into the 21st century. Okay. The solution, and this is Axle. Axle MPR, it's multi-purpose rover, and this is actually showing him avoiding obstacle avoidance, essentially. Axle is a multi-purpose rover utilizing a clever modular design to offer unlimited flexibility for its potential uses. We will be using the latest tech advances like GPS, machine learning, LiDAR, and much more. The true beauty of Axle's design is their ability to source incredibly durable, affordable, and time-tested components, keeping manufacturing costs low, revenue high, and provide limitless entertainment for the consumer. Win, win, win. On the left is an image of what the prototype will look like in the future. On the right is an actual prototype we're using to test components, payload, and battery capacity. Okay. Potential markets. Our primary market of entry will be the sport gun target shooting. This is currently a $2.4 billion market and is ripe for an upgrade. Axle's multi-purpose design will allow for it to gracefully pull along a trailer that will house interchangeable targets. One of my favorite ideas is having a group of friends be able to play poker by shooting targets that represent poker cards. 10 shots each, you shoot to earn the best hand. Tell me this wouldn't be exciting for everyone involved. If that wasn't cool enough, Axle will be able to travel a designated path set by the users and can be repeatable for all the following shooters using GPS waypoints. The next level of fun will be utilizing Axle's RC option, giving participants control over the rover within the safe zone. With all of that in mind, now think of the possibilities in regards to selling low-cost, high-margin target systems. 3D animal targets, steel spinning targets, and gamed themed targets like Alien Invaders, just to mention a few. After the introduction of Axle to the target shooting market, we will then release to the secondary markets like farming assistant. One example being fixing fences using Axle's follow-along feature. Not having to keep moving your farm vehicle over and over again, dragging your fencing tools along with you, would have saved me a ton of time and effort when I was responsible for our fences. Last but certainly not least, let's not leave out the home gardening and tailgating party market. Again, the potential is endless. Okay. Cost and production. We believe that once Axle is ready for production run, it will be sub $100 per unit and will retail for nearly $600. This is the rover only. The trailer will have slightly lower margins with a retail price of $250. However, the trailer is simply the delivery vehicle for the high margin target systems. The targets are the wild card here, and I personally believe the revenue stream will really pay the bills, if you will. Okay. Okay. The ask. I'm asking for $35,000 to produce a marketable prototype and trailer. This will expand our possibilities in regards to the most advantageous route to market. The next level or a financial ask would be for a production run of the axle MPR. We believe that we would need $150,000 to get axle to market with a relatively small run of 100 units, allowing us to validate the market. Finally, I would also like our deal to involve a level of mentorship. I will always be in the business of learning. Thank you all, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you. Jeez, I made it. Okay, anybody?
Eric's got a question over here.
That will be very, very minimal. So replacement tires, literally $2 a piece probably. They'll be sourced from overseas, so very, very affordable. Yeah. So basically, this version, it's called plinking, which is low caliber rifles. It's very, very accurate. So the chances of the rover getting shot anyways, it doesn't really need protection. And a small bullet probably wouldn't do any damage unless it hit just the right place, but we would protect some of the internals. So the same robot. Yeah, okay. That's actually funny. Way to lighten the mood. But yeah, it's basically the same rover we'll be able to use in tons of different applications. And that's kind of the beauty of it, is the fact that we can do a lot of different things and cross over into a lot of different markets without actually having to change anything. It's very modular, and yeah, so thank you.
We've got a question from Kelly over here.
Kelly? Oh.
So to clarify, the rover is going to be pulling the trailer and the target will be on the trailer, right?
Yeah. Yep. So there's a huge revenue possibility as far as the different types of targets, because there's a million different ones that you could possibly add onto this, and you're gamifying it. So having different people involved in the process makes it more fun. You know, it's more involved. And that industry just hasn't really had any changes. And when I play, I get bored. So, okay.
One afternoon, the targets get blown to pieces, so you'll be buying new? Or how long do your targets, do you tend the targets work to last? Because that's obviously a revenue generator for you.
Yeah. Consumables. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can repeat the question.
Oh, yeah. Basically, how will the targets, like, will some be will some be blown up? Mostly, I mean, there's both. That's the cool part, is it's like consumables. Some of them will be a daily thing, but they're like $1 a piece. The steel ones are, depending on the size, are much more, they're more expensive, but they also last for a very long time with low caliber rifles. So yeah, that's one of the great opportunities of this, is you don't necessarily have to have the trailer if you're using it for gardening, and there will be garden carts, different stuff that you can actually attach to the robot itself or the rover. So there's lots of different opportunities, like I said, to cross markets. The party one with the cooler and speakers built right into it, LEDs, and it circles with waypoints, your tailgate, and you can just say, stop, I need a beer, and it'll stop. And then when you're done with it, you just give a little pat on the butt and it'll take off. So
Jim has a question here.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Drive it by your house. Totally. Licensing, sports teams. I mean, there's literally. Oh my God. You said it, not me.
30 more seconds.
Okay. That's actually an awesome question because I don't want to spill the beans too much, but the motors and all of the technology was it's very, very affordable because I'm using a platform that most people would never even imagine or have thought of. And that's why it's not out there yet, probably. But that's the brilliance of it, is the fact that if you shoot a motor, it costs $5, but this motor can pull 400 pounds. What's that? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Very affordable.
We're at time.
Okay,
Gordon, thank
cool.
you for making it through tonight's event.
No.
And
Yeah. All good? Cool.
As always, we invite our speakers to meet here in the back corner, so you'll have more time for these questions. I know we missed a few. Okay, so he'll be there to connect with you guys. All right, thank
Cool.
you.
Thank you.
Great. So next we have Jay Meldrum to speak on Michigan Tech's University Update. Welcome, Jay.
Yeah, tell me when the 3 minutes starts. Okay, my name is Jay Meldrum. I work for the Keweenaw Research Center, Michigan Tech. I don't live there anymore. I live here. Michigan Tech is 0 miles from Traverse City from now on. So one of the things that Michigan Tech loves is your high school students, whether they're from the MTA or Simatech or directly out of high school and come to Michigan Tech. We relish having Michigan Tech students from the Traverse area to come to Michigan Tech. So I'm here to help with that transition, and I'll be meeting with those groups, including the students in STEM and STEAM, so science, technology, education, and engineering, and math. And A is the art. You say STEAM, you say STEM, I say STEAM. So arts is included in that. So I've already got a project going with Interlochen. For many years, NMC and Michigan Tech have had a 2+2 program. It's had its ups and downs, but now it's up. Last year, pre-COVID, we signed an agreement to extend that, to make sure that we're extending it to other engineering and technology programs at NMC, where go to NMC for 2 years, all your credits transfer to Michigan Tech, and you can get a degree, 4-year degree. Research, we have common areas of research. They're in a number of different technological areas. One is water. You've got Lake Michigan, we have Lake Superior. So Michigan Tech is located on a canal that connects Lake Superior to Lake Superior, by the way. Houghton is right in the middle of that. You have a university, a college that's right on the bay, and it's great. And there's lots of areas of commonality, and there is a memorandum of understanding between the groups. Turning good ideas into revenue streams. I'm all about that. I helped start the Smart Zone in Houghton. Houghton Hancock and Michigan Tech was the first smart zone in the state of Michigan, so funded by MEDC. And I'm here to help with that kind of stuff. I'm a member of 20 Fathoms. I'm a member of TCNewTech. Thank you, Jennifer, for letting come here tonight and talk. I've been looking forward to this for 3+ months. Community service. I'm about that too. I'm helping the local community look at electrification. Pretty soon we are going to have more electric cars. We need charging stations. We have a bunch. We need more. I'm working with people to put solar panels up, community solar, where you don't have to put the solar panels on your roof. You can put them in a community location. You can buy those panels, get credit for the energy they produce on your particular energy supplier. So I'm talking to a lot of different communities, a lot of different energy suppliers. Finally, yesterday, you might have read in the paper, you might have seen in the ticker, we opened an office at the Traverse Connect building. I occupy the 2nd floor of the Traverse Connect building. Come see me, come have a cup of coffee with me. Let's find a way to work together. Michigan Tech is here. So thank you.
Everybody snap a picture if you want to connect with Jay. So next we have our second pitch presenter, and that is Chase Bohag, and he's with First Ignite, And I want to give a shout out to his team. Come on up, Chase. However, he's got a team with him. Here you go. They're from Miami and Chicago, all the way up.
Hey everybody, Chase Bonag, co-founder, CEO of First Ignite. At First Ignite, we help companies solve their toughest scientific problems by matching them with university experts for paid consultations. Every year, corporate is doing about $400 billion a year in research and development, but they're not partnering with academia nearly enough. Federal funding is slowing for academic research, and the opportunity to partner with corporations is significant. So First Ignite is building a marketplace to help bridge the gap between academia and industry to help solve tough scientific problems. We do this at our core with an AI we built known as Aloris, where we take scientific literature in the form of patents and research publications, and we're able to predict company interests and expertise matching. We initially launched in academia, where we currently support just under 30 universities in the United States and one national laboratory to help them market their research to industry. We've successfully helped our university partners form almost 500 partnerships with industry. And it's resulted in almost $200,000 in recurring revenue this year. We're on pace to do a little over $300,000 within the university market. We built this business initially focused on supporting the university market. This year, we've had a great year within the university space, but we realized in order to grow at the pace we were hoping to grow, we have to start to serve the corporate market. We have to help corporations identify and connect with academic experts. So we've launched our second product now, where you can easily search any topic like critical ischemia or semiconductor research to identify and connect with academic experts for paid consultations with an average hourly rate of $500 an hour. Why this is important is in the US, university professors are allowed 1 day per week or 20% of their time to work on projects outside of the university. Could be running a startup, could be sitting on a board, could be consulting with a corporation, but very few are taking advantage of this. We aim to fill that capacity. And if we can help 500,000 experts in the United States connect with 1 hour of consultation per week at an average rate of $500 an hour, it's a $12.5 billion market. First Ignite aims to take 30% transaction fee on those consultations. Similar businesses exist like GLG or TGIS. It's called an expert network. And these organizations help investment firms or corporations make better decisions. But these expert networks are focused on connecting industry expertise in, like in payment processing or supply chain to help investment firms make a better decision. We're very focused on technical expertise for corporate research and development. As you mentioned, my whole team's here. This is exciting. This is the first time First Ignite's been in the same location as a team since conception. We're a 3-year-old company, so it's pretty exciting for us. And so please come out and talk to us in the hallway. They're in from Miami, they're in from Chicago, and we're doing strategy planning for 2022. So we're excited to be here. We're also raising a fundraising round. We're closing in 2 weeks. We've raised the better half of $1.5 million fundraising round led by the investment firms listed below. We just finished Y Combinator Startup Accelerator. We were one of 16,000 applicants that was selected to participate in this summer's Y Combinator Accelerator, and really excited about what's coming. So yeah, so we're First Ignite. We help companies solve their toughest scientific problems by matching with university experts for paid consultation. We're on track to do around 300,000 AR this year in the university market alone. We're hiring, we're raising a little bit more capital, and we're excited for what's to come. So thank you all so much.
We've got 5 minutes for Q&A.
Cool. Yeah, so it's a really good question. Like, so when you deal with research and development, one of the biggest challenges is, and so the question was, So the question was like, how do we deal with intellectual property or disclosure of ideas that could take place in these consultations? I believe is kind of a good synopsis. And I think it all starts with how we inform our experts on what they're allowed to talk about and what they're not allowed to talk about. And so they're allowed to answer certain questions of how their research applies to a question that a company may have. They're in no way allowed to share disclosures on their research that could be owned by the university. And then so for every time we match an expert, it's all about non-disclosure agreements, non-competes, and different agreements that the companies require for them to have those conversations. Yeah, so our contracts are with corporations, and so it's pretty simple. I mean, we Abbott Laboratories, they're not a customer of ours by any means. Provides us with whatever they feel is comfortable or allow them to have conversations, and that's an agreement that's put in place. We don't spend any. We're not lawyers by any means. We just pass on and provide transactional revenue. So when a company funds research on a university campus, university keeps 30% and 70% goes to the laboratory. And so that's why we take a 30% transaction fee when a company funds research or consultation through our program, is that it's a number that the university is used to and accepts, or the professor is used to and accepts. On federal funding, it's 50-50. 50 goes to the university and 50 goes to the professor.
If a faculty member accepts an arrangement, engagement, are they precluded from somehow participating in follow-on activities as inequitable? If the idea got legs and was commercialized?
Yeah, so as of now, like, we're very focused on consultation. So I think the biggest thing is we can't have our experts sharing ideas with the organization. It's all about answering questions about what they understand. So a good example of like how our experts are answering question is, we just did one for how does wind speed affect the aging of meat, the post-mortem, so after a cow dies. It's very specific questions that the Professor Kim from Purdue understands because he studied that, but in no way is he sharing any type of like insight that would provide, you know, the next big breakthrough for meat preservation. That would be great. You know, I think where we're trying to play is build relationships between professors and companies. And as those develop, they become relationships between the university and the company, because the university does own the intellectual property developed by the professor, but they don't own the consultation rights for the professor at the earliest stage. Yeah.
Who makes decisions in terms of professors buying in? So does the university provide like stable of names, or how's that all work?
Yeah, so this is where like technology on our side, like team's pretty good building tech. So our stable of experts is all generated from public documents that we've tried back to researchers' expertise based on like PubMed data, semantic scholar data, USPTO data, clinical trials, where we understand based on the text data contained within those types of documents, who that professor is, what their affiliation is with the university, and then we generate an email address. So for any ability to identify an expert or connect with an expert comes from pre-existing information that that professor has put out into the world. And so when a company requests to meet with that professor, we're sending introductory email. They've never heard of First Ignite, most likely, not yet. And we're offering about $500 on average to meet with the company. So it's all pre-existing data that we're using and manipulating. Yeah.
One more question. Everybody jump. Right here.
Our goal is companies that are doing over $100 million a year in annual revenue, or sorry, annual R&D. So we're looking to focus on supporting like pretty large enterprises where they may have like between 1,000 and 2,000 folks on their R&D or innovation teams that can plug into academic experts across their like innovation pipeline. Wonderful. Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Once again, you can meet their team right out here in the lobby after the event. Next up, we're going to have Eric. Eric is on his second month with 20 Fathoms as the executive director. So let's welcome Eric.
What a great day to live in Traverse City, huh? Who's got it better than it? Did you see that when the sun came out this afternoon over the bay? It was fantastic. Can you advance that one slide? Thank you. There it is. Okay, I got it, Carrie. And great job on the pitches tonight. It really struck me earlier today. Like, you all play a really, really important role in the folks that come up here to pitch. The work that they go through to prepare for it, to harden their story, to sharpen it, to think about their message, to think about what's most important, the questions that you ask. That's really important part of this process. So I know we're back. This is the fourth one or fifth one that we're doing live. Kudos to all of you. Keep on those questions. I think it's really good for everybody. Jay, great job yesterday. Big day for Michigan Tech. I thought it was a fantastic day, and we've got a couple of guests from Michigan Tech that stuck around to join us tonight. So thanks to you guys as well. We're going to leave that code up there. So get your phones out. Like, normally they put the slide up and then they take it away right away, right? And there's no time for you to take your picture. So it's going to be up there for a couple minutes. Normally when people think of 20 Fathoms, the first things that come to their mind is a workspace. It's a startup services or, functions that we can provide. But the programming also that goes on there supports not just if you're in the startup world, but your career in general. There's really good topics that come through. You heard Matt earlier. He's coming tomorrow to talk more about the topic he just covered. Content marketing, Slabtown marketing later in the week this week. Early November, I'll give a quick shout out for tonight. 1 month from tonight, we've got SBDC in town to talk about common myths of startups. And we're going to do it right here in this room for the hour before the happy half hour that leads up to pitch night. So mark your calendars and come back for that one as well. That should be really good. We've got Northern Michigan Angels is going to come talk. And I think that one's at 20 Fathoms. That's the second week in November. We've got 2 coming up in sales. Another one I think Lisa's doing for HR and remote working. So there's a ton that's going on there beyond just being a workspace or just a space for startups. Lots of great programming. It's all free to you. It's mostly funded by grant work that we do, that we can put that stuff on for the community. So please plan to come. It's done just like this. It's done both live in person if you're comfortable with that. But they're all done on Zoom and remote as well. So you can do that as well. And the last thing I want to mention, I mentioned to you when I was here, it was only 3 weeks ago, last time, is we're record membership at 20 Fathoms. It's absolutely fantastic. It's our high water mark. Normally that means that our private office space is completely booked and sold out. We have a room right now for that. If you have ever thought about it, if you've got an interest in it, hit one of us up afterwards. Come see us and take a look around. We've got space for you. There's starting to be a bit more buzz. I know we got to be super careful with Delta and COVID, and do it in a really smart way. But there's starting to be a buzz there, and we'd love to have you come join us. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, next we're going to bring up our third pitch presenter, Craig Tucker. He's all the way up from Muskegon. He is the co-founder and CEO of Vern Health.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. The vast majority of Americans suffer from stress, anxiety, and depression, which are comorbidities which exacerbate chronic health conditions, killers such as diabetes, heart, and pulmonary diseases. That means that everyone in this room either knows someone who suffers from it or suffers from it themselves. This results in higher costs to the healthcare systems and worse outcomes for patients. Nearly half of all hospitalized patients have behavioral health conditions, 2 times the readmission rate. 1 out of every 4 has a longer length of stay. But to this day, care providers have limited ability to identify behavioral health comorbidities. Telehealth operators don't know the patient on the other end of the line. They like to know something about the patient, at least anything about them, as soon as possible. Care providers cannot track the progress of treatment. Tracking would be essential in improving patient care. EMTs, well, they're tired of being attacked. First responders are screaming for help. One more. Yep. Even patients tell us everybody's talking, but no one is listening. Next slide. My name is Craig Tucker. I'm the CEO of Vern Health. Vern Health is Emotion AI, providing augmented emotional intelligence for healthcare. It's patented, it works in real time, and it gets better the more that it's used. We're bringing emotional intelligence analytics to healthcare and telehealth. Vern's mission is to improve patient care. From telehealth to the exam room, from pre to post visit, Vern Health provides biological, neurological, and psychological emotion detection. We use the words, vocal, and facial clues that people express when they communicate, and more. This provides new data points for professionals to make a more informed assessment. This greatly increases the accuracy of that assessment and helps by monitoring treatment. Vern Health is available both in real time and asynchronously to cover the majority of uses in healthcare. With Vern Health, now telehealth and mental health providers can see in real time what a patient is telling them. Next one. Yep, and the next one, please. Mental health providers can track the effectiveness of therapies and treatments across time. And primary care physicians, specialists, all can utilize emotional data for their own specific treatment paradigms. Now, the problem, as large as it is, presents an equally large opportunity. Vern Health is positioned to answer the demand with a product that is lightweight, easier to integrate, and even easier to use. We've done pilot studies with MSU Federal Credit Union, providing Vern for customer service, de-escalation, and triage. And we're also in Boise State University, an ER/VR application for children with autism, with virtual sessions conducted with a therapist. We're also in Evermore, an award-winning mindfulness and mental health application with tens of thousands of users. We're in discussion with several health systems, and we'll leverage our relationships with them towards launch. Then we'll scale nationally and internationally through telehealth, teletherapy, and telepsychiatry. Our revenue model is a SaaS model to be scaled to the size of the practice, while keeping absolutely committed to an easily understood pricing to ensure the most rapid adoption. Vern Health is powered by Vern AI, emotion recognition technology. We received our first patent in 2020, and we're very excited to announce we have our second patent today, October 5th, 2021, and more to come. From the innovative infrastructure to the revolution, thank you. Thanks, guys. From the innovative infrastructure to the revolutionary treatment tracking system, there'll be much more intellectual property in the years to come. As with most software systems, there's substantial margin and room to scale. In fact, Vern was conceived and built with scaling in mind, wanting to leverage strategic relationships, seek channel partners, and capture market share. As with most medical software subscription services, we anticipate a churn rate of about 7.5%. A quick look of our timeline shows we're ready to hit the ground running. We'll have a product for launch in Q3 22 and steady growth of innovation, IP and product development, and a validation of the model with a focus on scaling. And we're not doing it alone. We're leveraging the talent and experience of our team, experts in healthcare, mental health, former directors of state departments of health, partnered with experts in technology and in business. What we need to do now is to complete and compete. Because one thing we've learned is going to take a holistic approach to the mental health and behavioral health crisis. To solve this problem, it's going to take everyone in this room. Thank you, everybody.
Repeat the questions so our audience can in the virtual.
Sure. Oh, yeah. We're actually doing the studies right now. Boise State University has a paper will be out in April of 22, and we have several other studies that we're working on getting into institutions and doing that right now. The question was basically, can the product be easily used and disseminated into other existing products? Absolutely. That was really what we designed from the beginning. We know that the telehealth market provides a lot of video conferencing, but they don't offer any type of an analytic. This would be the first type of its product in its class. Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure. So the question was basically about HIPAA requirements, privacy, so on and so forth. Well, First of all of our software is HIPAA compliant. We run the system to be, basically stateless, so we don't serve anything on our servers. Everything's pretty much on the client. And as far as permission, there's a mandate out there right now for people to be screened for depression. In fact, pediatrics have a federal mandate. It's mandatory that every child that goes into a doctor's office now is actually screened for depression. The AMA is mandating this in the general care practitioners, and this is going to be basically the new normal. So as far as when you go into a doctor's office, you are going to be analyzed somehow. And this is an aid for the practitioners to actually get it right and have something that they can kind of fall back on as an objective third party. Oh, right here.
Intuitively, anecdotally, we all know there's a mental health crisis wherever we go. Step outside, and we can all witness the problem. How will we know that this works?
Well, we will know that it works because there are systems out there that are not as sophisticated that already have been proven to work. Well, let me give you an example. So sentiment analysis basically looks at what the mood is about a particular thing, whether it's positive or negative, neutral, and mixed. I don't really know what those things are. But with emotion recognition, you're actually capturing the salient emotions that somebody's actually expressing. So there's a higher likelihood of getting it right than sentiment analysis. Currently, we're doing studies in order to prove that out. And so it's a very good point. But sentiment analysis as a technology has been shown for years to be effective, even in diagnosing mental health conditions, and is used currently by most of our competitors.
Russ has a question.
Question? Well, the question was basically, is it a lie detector? Sure. Well, first of all, there really is no real truth detector, and the whole quote unquote lie detectors aren't in court for a reason, because they're not very accurate and they're easy to cheat and you're easy to lie. So really, with any type of technology, it's only as good as what you give it. So if there are signals that are actually presenting that somebody has a heart attack, it's going to show that they're having a heart attack. But if there's not having a heart attack, they won't show the signals. The same thing was within behavioral mental health. If somebody is going to express themselves, then we have ways in which we can actually detect and pick that up. But this by no means reads the black box or can actually see inside your head, because it only really gives it what you give it. So if you're an a-hole, it's going to think, well, this guy's kind of an a-hole. So sure. That's a great question. Actually, the basis of this is the words that you say. The facial expressions and the vocal tones that we get are actual extra layers of abstraction and extra information on top of the words that we use. So we use words to label our lives. It's like we're our own little machine learners, right? We're semi-supervised and supervised learning, categorizing, labeling everything in our world. And that's how words work. What we do is we found a way in which word combinations will give statistical significance for these particular type of very distinct emotional states.
That's all we have time for today, folks. Ben will meet you in the back. Oh, come on, Ben. All right.
We're very well aware of that science, actually. Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Craig will meet you guys in the back corner over here after the networking hour here. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Way to hijack the show. All right. Next, we have another board of director, Camille, coming up to share more on Michigan's Creative Coast. No music. I'm sorry. Oh! So are you going to click? Well, no. You want me to? Okay. I can click. All right. I know what you set up. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. I'm Camille Hoisington. I'm Director of Strategic Projects at Traverse Connect. And you've probably all heard me talk about Michigan's Creative Coast before, but I wanted to give you a quick overview of what we do. So one of our major goals at Traverse Connect is to attract new people and new talent to our region. And our talent attraction efforts take the form of Michigan's Creative Coast. So what we're doing with this campaign is we want to give our region a goal, a brand and a recognizable place name. We want to inspire the entrepreneurial mindset, inspire the families seeking a higher quality of life, and the digital nomads who can live anywhere to come and live and work here in the Grand Traverse region. We're sector and industry agnostic because we love all job types and all industries. So put simply, Michigan's Creative Coast is a full-service relocation program. We're a one-stop resource for everything you need to live, work, and get connected in the Grand Traverse region. Okay. So our goal is to bring in new people of key working age. These are people who are prime mid-career experienced workers. And we want to see a 5% increase in the 35 to 49-year-old population. That's an additional 1,000 people by 2030. So how we do this is we have a website, michiganscreativecoast.com. It's a one-stop resource for all the resources and information you might need to know about making your move here. We have a robust job board that's free for our local employers to use. It's a curated showcase of high-paying, what we call fairly compensated jobs, starting at or above $45,000 per year. And then our Northern Navigators are regional ambassadors who can meet one-on-one with new residents and potential newcomers to the region. And then we spread the word about all of these resources via the Google search and display network and on our social media. So this is our webpage. This is our homepage. It's split into two categories, as you can see, career and jobs, and then lifestyle. So if you click on Make Your Life here, you'll see that we cover areas such as arts and culture, outdoor recreation, food and dining. Soon to come is real estate and neighborhoods, health and wellness, and schools and childcare as well. And then if you click on Make Your Career here, you'll see that we offer an insight into the wide varieties of careers in the region, as well as an entire page dedicated to our local tech and entrepreneurial ecosystem, which we call our entrepreneurial toolbox. These are our Northern Navigators, what I called our regional ambassadors. So they offer a friendly and personalized relocation service for newcomers. They're all people who already live here, who've chosen to live here, and newcomers and prospective new residents can connect with the Navigator directly on our website by setting up a meeting or a Zoom call with them. These are some examples of what we've been displaying on our Google search and display network, as well as our social media. And then these are just some more images that we've created. And we're being very intentional to market to a specific demographic. So primarily the millennial demographic, but then we're also trying to inspire this idea that you can have a really great life here. We're inviting people to imagine their lives here. So we're very intentional to market to that demographic, the entrepreneurs, the small business owners, in all fields, so tech, manufacturing, and creative industries, as well as the remote workers. So we're really inviting them to choose here to come and live in Northern Michigan. So what you can all do is spread the word, follow us, visit our website, follow us on social media. If you're an employer, use our job board as a recruiting resource. So it's entirely free to use and to start posting jobs on our job board. If you're new to the area yourself, or if you have a vested interest in getting new people to move here, maybe you know someone who wants to live here and they just need that extra push, send them to me or to our Northern Navigators, and then you can always contact me directly with any questions. So that's it. Thank you.
This is the time for you to share with our audience if you have a public service announcement, a community event coming up, or a job opening. Hint, hint, First Ignite. I know you guys have one, so if you want to hop up, we're going to announce our voting slide. And during that time of voting, we're going to allow 30-second pitches. technical difficulty was there. There it is. Okay, let's start.
There we go.
There's your numbers. Any public service announcements? I know there's a job opportunity that could come up. Not going to share. I just put you on the spot.
First Ignite's hiring sales and engineering talent, and anybody with scientific background. We love chemistry, biology, and physics.
Great, thank you. Well, Jen is bringing back up our slides.
Real quick.
Okay, Shay.
Hey, my name is Shay Pataja. October 21st in this room, we have full filament, and we have 5 local entrepreneurs who share their story as to why they found fulfillment in their career. They do not talk about their job. They do not talk about their business. They talk about themselves, and they issue a challenge to the audience to find fulfillment in their own life. And then we give away a $500 grant to someone with a really good idea. So you can get your tickets online or show up at the door, or you can watch it from home because we're doing a live stream. So there's that.
Great, thank you. Any more announcements?
I'm Jerry Morris. I'm the treasurer of Families Against Narcotics here in Traverse City. I hate to put a little damper on the people moving here, but we meet the first Thursday of every month at Central United Methodist. And what we're looking for is family members who have loved ones in either active substance use disorder, treatment for substance use disorder, or recovery of substance use disorder. We found that that's really lacking here in the community is help for families. And we want you to come. It's free. It's at Central United Methodist Thursday night. It runs from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. We give resources, support, and educate people on substance use disorder. Thank you.
Got a little more time. Any announcements? Well, I'll make a small one. Following this event, we tend to congregate over at the workshop. If you'd like to do a little more mingling with us, we hope to see your faces over there. They generally hold a few tables. They offer, I believe, a deal for us that Jen might have worked out. She might not have.
No, they just have good.
Okay, so they have good beer, food, everything else. We forgot to get you a discount this time. I'm sorry. This is a nonprofit. We we try. We're still voting, and are we close?
Yeah, can you go through those sponsors?
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna hop through our sponsors here. If Jen stops pushing buttons. Susan has always been a great supporter. She's here in the crowd. She's usually here in the crowd engaging with us. Thank you for your sponsorship. Score mentors are always, involved in the community. They're behind the scenes. They help our pitch presenters just consolidate their pitch for you with our event called Pitch Perfect, and they sit on our board. Northern Michigan Angels has been a longtime sponsor, and they just got a new executive director. So I do not see Jody, but hopefully you'll see her at the next event. And once again, Michigan's Creative Coast. They're doing lots of great things for our community, and we're really proud to be sponsors with them on a few events coming up. Next month, you'll see Lisa. Man, she makes this look so easy. I'm learning. So Lisa will help you with all your HR needs, and I'll be here supporting her on the other side of this. And my company, Michigan Broadband Services. We are growing our network. We're looking into 2022. Reach out to me. We have stretched from Olson's West all the way to 5 Mile. And so I can help you across the span there. And these are our Pitch Prize sponsors that have helped us this year. If you'd like to join and be on stage with a big check, please reach out to me. We could use you next year. We have lots of opportunity there. And the last, these are the people who help us in kind, always helping us put our show on in general. Oh, slow back, sorry. Where would you like me? Okay. Don't look at that screen, please. Okay. There we go. And it looks like we have First Ignite will be joining us on stage as winners. I hope it was worth the trek, guys. Is there anybody from Forefront that would like to join? Jeff, are you on stage? No. All right.
big check.
All right.
Cheers.
I'm going to try to grab.
And you know what? It's better if we can move out of that light.
All right,
That light's
sure.
so bad. There we go. Can we get everybody in? The whole team. There we go.
Cool, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. We get to keep the big check.
Just for more pictures, and then I'll get it back.
You can meet your team if you have more questions in the networking area. So last slide we have here is just a reminder that we do have our job board. If you have any job opportunities, and we know everybody's hiring and would like to stimulate a little bit more traffic to your opportunity, join our job board. We'd love to have you there. And this is our board. Meet our board. Meet them here. Meet them in person. Reach out to them if you have any questions, if you'd like to get more involved. We'd like to thank them for their constant support and helping this organization with its outreach. And next event, mark your calendar. Scan, join us, and we'll see you next month with Lisa. Thanks.
The cash bar is open until 8.